We are under the lights on a beautiful night here in Florida. The fans taking advantage, getting autographs before the game. As tonight, the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's going to be the Yankees against the Baltimore Orioles of George M. Steinbrenner Field here in Tampa, Florida. Hi, everybody. Ken Singleton along with David Cole. Thanks for watching the Yankees on Yes. Now, this is the time of spring. It's getting down towards the end where teams want to get through as healthy as possible. But, David, it's also the time of spring training where some difficult decisions are made by managers and GMs.
Yeah, there's difficult decisions, and then there's good difficult decisions. And if you've got too much pitching, you got to feel pretty good if you're the Yankees. And Ivan Nova, coming off a great year last year, finds himself in a battle for the rotation spot this year. I think he's had a good spring. He's got to live off what he did last year, and that was a pretty good year. Phil Hughes, once again, been working on that changeup for a couple of years. He's always had that good fastball and that good curveball. His changeup is much improved. He's had a great spring. And, of course, the new guy, 6'8", coming from Seattle. A lot of talk about his velocity, but I think he's had a good spring. He's shown all of his pitches and a good changeup. You know, the Yankees have a plethora of pitchers, including the old dog, Freddie Garcia. What a great year last year he had for the Yankees. That great split-finger changeup. You know, he's got a guy that's going to pitch, if not here, then somewhere else.
4 pitchers for 3 spots. Joe Girardi and Brian Cashman have a difficult decision to pare this down. 3 of those guys will be in the rotation for the Yankees. 1 other will go to the bullpen or maybe even be traded. Let's check out tonight's pitching matchup here at Steinbrenner Field. For the Baltimore Orioles, it's going to be Jason Hamill. Those numbers are with the Colorado Rockies a year ago. They got him in a trade with the Rockies over the winter. And David Phelps gets the start for the Yankees. Those numbers from Scranton Wilkes-Barre when he went 6-6 with a 3.19 ERA at AAA. He gets the start tonight for the Yankees. So in just a few moments here on Yes, we've got lineups, we've got first pitch, and we've got baseball coming up next. Yankees and the Orioles from Florida. Tonight's game on Yes is brought to you in part by Chevy. With a full line of award-winning models, find out more at ChevyOffers.com. By Wendy's. Head to Wendy's and try one of our W Double Burgers. Dig into the W today. And by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. Just outside of Steinbrenner Field, the retired numbers, Yogi Berra on the left, Mickey Mantle on the right, 2 of the greatest Yankees and greatest baseball players of all time. Hall of Famers both. And you've got a number of retired numbers out the side of Yankees of Steinbrenner Field. Let's check out the Orioles starting lineup. Nolan Ramos is going to lead it off. He'll be in left field. Nick Johnson, former Yankee, will be the designated hitter. Nick Markakis is in right field. Adam Jones will be in center. He'll clean up. Matt Wieters, the all-star catcher behind the plate. Mark Reynolds will be at third base. Chris Davis is at first. Robin Andino is at shortstop tonight, and Ryan Flaherty will bat ninth. He'll be at second base. There is Buck Showalter, the Orioles manager, going into his third year with the Orioles. And there's the youngsters on the mound tonight for the Yankees. It'll be David Phelps.
See, last year at Scranton, 6-6, a better ERA than that record would indicate. Only 26 walks, another strike thrower in the Yankees farm system. And the Volkswagen pitcher scouting report on Mr. Phelps. He's fighting Irish, a Notre Dame grad. Had his heart set coming out of Hazleton High School in St. Louis, Missouri. He wanted to go to Notre Dame, did it. He's a new father. Had a baby in spring training this year. Actually missed a start down there at the mini Fenway Field against Boston. But that's a pretty good reason to miss a start when you're a new father and another young gun. The Yankees are loaded with good young pitching talent.
It is time for baseball here at Steinbrenner Field, and the first pitch from Phelps is over the outside corner for a called strike to Nolan Reimold, who will lead it off for Baltimore here tonight. Reimold, that's what he did last year. He's hitting 174 during spring training. Bouncer towards the middle. Derek Jeter's up with it behind the bag. Throws on the first, one batter and one out. Let's check out the rest of the Yankees on defense. Brought to you by the Home Depot. In the outfield, it's going to be Ibanez in left, Gardner in center, Jones in right. In the infield, Rodriguez, you saw Jeter, the captain, at short. Nunez at second tonight, Teixeira at first, and Francisco, the Cisco Kid, doing the catching for David Phelps. Phelps was originally picked by the Yankees in the 14th round back in 2008. Here's Nick Johnson, former Yankee, takes a pitch for a called strike. Nick Johnson signed as a free agent by the Orioles, trying to hook on. He's got a pretty good chance of making this team. Play first base, be the DH. Spent all of last year in AAA in Cleveland organization. Hits the ball in left field for Ibanez, and he's there and makes the catch. And quickly, there are two outs for Baltimore here in the top of the first inning. Well, it's a beautiful night. Let's look at the game time weather conditions, brought to you by Toyota. And it's been beautiful all spring training. 80 degrees. It's just about perfect. Mostly sunny all day today here in Tampa. 51 degrees and mostly sunny in the Bronx. 2 up and 2 down for Baltimore to bring up the number 3 hitter, Nick Markakis, who's the right fielder. And the first pitch from Phelps is poured in there for a strike. Markakis won his first Gold Glove last year. Those are his numbers on the season. Hitting .294 this spring. And he takes one low and inside for a ball. He put on a show in batting practice. He had about 6 or 7 of them into the seats in right field and a couple over the bleachers. Markakis had abdominal surgery over the winter. It was kind of touch and go whether he'd be ready for the start of the season. By that display in batting practice, he looked like he's okay.
He's a solid player for the Orioles, probably their best all-around player. He's had 180 hits in each of the last 5 seasons.
I'm sure Buck Showalter is happy to see that Markakis is ready to go. This pitch is hit well towards left center field. On the move is Gardner. Still on the run, and he makes the running catch in deep left center field. Nice play by the Yankee center fielder Brett Gardner. So Phelps has a 1-2-3 inning. He accepts the assignment. Derek Jeter will lead it off when we come back here on Yes. Well, there's a panoramic view of Steinbrenner Field. We're going to get a chance to check out the Yankees starting lineup presented by Alexis at the very top. As we told you, the captain, Derek Jeter, is going to lead it off. Curtis Granderson tonight will be the designated hitter. Alex Rodriguez will bat third. He'll be at third base. Cleaning up is first baseman Mark Teixeira. Raul Ibanez is in left field. Andrew Jones is in right. Brett Gardner's in center. Eduardo Nunez at second base tonight. And Francisco Cervelli doing the catching and batting ninth.
Here's the newest Oriole, Mr. Hamill. Jason Hamill came over from the Rockies in 11. You see those numbers. A little bit of relief, too, in there. Tough out in Colorado. You know your ERA is going to be high, but he keeps the ball on the ground. Needs to throw more strikes. He is an innings eater. 170 innings in each of the last 3 seasons. He came over in the Jeremy Guthrie trade. I always liked Jeremy Guthrie. He had great stuff. Just never seemed to put it together for the O's, but he was probably one of their best pitchers, and the Orioles need him to be a frontline starter to fill that void Jeremy Guthrie left.
Scout Report brought to you by Volkswagen. Derek Jeter swings at the first pitch and fouls it back. Now Jeter's hitting .333 this spring, and it's kind of interesting because remember last year after the calf injury, he really got hot when he came back. This spring he's had a calf injury, and he's really gotten hot since he's come back from that injury. His average up to .333. Hit a home run here the other day. And hits a ground ball hard to the first baseman. Chris Davis has it, and there's one down. 3 unassisted. Let's check out the rest of the Orioles on defense. Brought to you by the Home Depot. In the outfield from left to right, it's going to be Reimold, Jones, and Markakis. In the infield, Reynolds, Andino, Flaherty, not John, but Ryan, and Davis at first, and Wieters doing the catching. Here's Curtis Granderson tonight. He's the designated hitter. He's been dealing with a sore throwing elbow, and he takes a pitch down low for ball 1. According to Joe Girardi before the game tonight, if it was regular season, he would have had Curtis out there in the outfield, but has a chance to DH him tonight. And Curtis swings, lifts a fly ball to left field. On the move is Reimold, and he'll make the catch for out number 2. So Granderson's retired. That'll leave it up to Alex Rodriguez. Buck Showalter checking out his pitcher tonight, Jason Hamill. Hamill making his 5th start. As David told you, he came over from the Colorado Rockies in a deal for Jeremy Guthrie, and you like Guthrie.
I did like Guthrie, but it's sort of, you know, and the Matt Lindstrom was thrown in that trade too, a hard throwing reliever that might be, one of the closers for the Orioles this year, depending on how it shakes out. But he's got good stuff, some mid-90s fastball.
Pitch is low and away for ball 1 to A-Rod. In fact, Jeremy Guthrie showed a sense of humor when he got traded to Colorado. They asked him, who are the winners and losers in this deal? And he said, well, the winners might be the Yankees training staff because they won't be hitting any of their players anymore. A-Rod takes one down and away. He said the loser in this deal is Nick Swisher's batting average because he used to kill me. So Guthrie on his way to Colorado, and Nick Swisher's going to miss him. By the way, Nick Swisher might be back in the lineup tomorrow night. He's dealing with some groin issues. There's a breaking ball with slider in for a strike, and it's 2-1 Alex.
Sometimes you get young pitchers that have power arms and you just flip them. You know, Guthrie threw in the mid-90s, a great power arm. So does this guy. Maybe a change of scenery will help them.
Swing and a miss, and the count levels at 2-2. Nick Swisher, by the way, played in a couple of minor league games the last 2 days, and he went 6 for 13 with a home run. So it looks like he'll be back in the Yankee lineup pretty soon, and maybe swinging a hot bat. 2-2 pitch on the way to Alex Rodriguez. He hits a shot towards the middle. This is going into center field. This is the first hit of the ball game. A-Rod on with a 2-out single. Had a chance to talk to Alex briefly before the game, and I just wished him good health this year because I have a feeling he's going to have a big year if he stays healthy.
And he just beats him to the spot. Two-seamer running in on his fist, pulls the hands in, right back up the box.
With that base hit, he jumps his spring training batting average over the 300 mark. Here's Mark Teixeira batting in the cleanup spot, and his average has been coming up of late. He's up to 275 this spring. And he takes a pitch down and away. The Maryland native from Severna Park, Maryland, facing the team that he used to watch on TV quite a bit. Although the Orioles were his hometown team, his favorite player was Don Mattingly, fellow first baseman, fellow Gold Glover. There's a pitch for a called strike. It's been interesting to watch Teixeira. He's mentioned that he wants to hit the ball with more authority to the opposite field this year. Batting left-handed in particular. He wants to raise that left-handed batting average up. Hamill about 6'6" on that mound. And he throws a curveball and it drops in for a strike, and it's 1-2 to Teixeira.
You know, that's an interesting point, Kenny. You know, Teixeira's average has kind of dipped down over the last couple of years, and it's easy to get pull happy in Yankee Stadium with that short porch, and he's better than 248.
I think the same thing happened to Jason Giambi when he came to the Yankees. He'd been a high average hitter with Oakland, and then with the Yankees, of course, the power was there, but the batting average went down trying to hook those pitches over the outside corner, and those sinkers down and away. 39 home runs and 111 runs batted in. That looks good on anybody's sheet. But the 248 batting average, he'd like to switch the 8 and the 4. Get it up to about 284, 285 during this 2012 season. Ball is fouled back to the screen. The count remains a ball at 2 strikes. Center fielder Adam Jones, a couple of steps towards right center for Teixeira. Swing and a miss on an off-speed pitch. Hamels picks up his first strikeout. Teixeira out on strikes. Yankees pick up a hit, but nothing else against the Oriole right-hander. No score at the end of 1 here at Steinbrenner Field. The Yankees and the Baltimore Orioles. A week from tomorrow, the quest for 28 begins in Tampa when the Yankees kick off the 2012 season against the division rival Rays. Join the Yes Network team for complete coverage of all opening day pageantry, including the lineups and first pitch from Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg. 2012 regular season starts next Friday at 2, right here on Yes. David Phelps had a 1-2-3 top of the first. Now at top of the second, he'll face the cleanup hitter Adam Jones, the center fielder, and he starts him with a curve, and it's in there nicely for a call strike. Adam Jones had a good year last year for the Orioles. He was the most valuable Oriole, but he hit 280 with 25 home runs and 83 runs batted in. Bouncing ball to the right side. Nice stop by Teixeira on the high hop. He flips to Phelps, and there's one down. Tell you what, one of those teams in the Final Four could use those type of hops coming up this weekend.
I was just thinking the same thing. I mean, we've seen Teixeira range so well, and he really got up there. Some good ups. And the perfect flip.
He lost out on the Gold Glove last year. Adrian Gonzalez of the Boston Red Sox claimed, but Teixeira's always a candidate with plays like that. Here's Matt Wieters, the catcher. And he swings at the first pitch, fouls it back to the screen for strike 1. Wieters was a first-time All-Star last year. That wasn't the only thing. First-time Gold Glove winner.
threw out 37% of the runners who attempted to steal last year. And Tony Paney, the Yankee bench coach, former Gold Glover, says he's an up-and-comer. Deep to right field. Jones back, and he can't get to it. The ball bounces one hop off the wall. Wieters is at second. He's rounded second, on his way to third, and he's going to make it with a one-out triple. Looked like Andrew Jones had some problems picking up the ball against the wall in right field.
Well, it's just a matter of time before this guy's probably the best catcher in the game, in my opinion. I think he probably got rushed to the big leagues. You see a fastball out over the plate. He drives it, and I think, Kenny, you're right. Andrew Jones had a little trouble picking it up in the twilight. And Wieters runs well for a catcher. Sorry, Joe Girardi.
So Wieters at third, and he'll bring up Mark Reynolds, the third baseman. Starts him with a curve, and it's a little bit low for ball one. Reynolds played third and first last year. You can see the 37 home runs. That's an excellent number. 86 runs batted in. Led the Orioles. He played. They switched him over to first base after he was making 26 errors at third. Another breaking ball here on the ground to third, and by Alex Rodriguez. Wieters is going to score the first run of the ball game as Baltimore takes a 1-0 lead. We'll see how they score that one. Alex played it off to the side, and it hopped by his glove. That's going to be an error on the third baseman.
You could see the top spin on that. Just pick up steam off the bat. Here it comes, quick. And A-Rod tries to play it to the side.
So no RBI for Reynolds. And Baltimore takes a 1-0 lead, and it'll bring up Chris Davis, the first baseman. And the first pitch is. You thought that was outside, David?
No, I did not.
Well, maybe just a hair. Davis came over to Baltimore in a trade with the Texas Rangers last year. Also spent some time in the minor leagues. That's a little low. Ball two. Davis hitting .265 this spring with a couple of home runs, 4 runs batted in. Home plate umpire tonight is Marty Foster. Foul back to the screen. David, you mentioned it. Phelps was originally scheduled to start in Fort Myers, but his wife had a baby that night, and Adam Warren, another Yankee top pitching prospect, got the start instead. And Warren threw 4 shutout innings for Joe Girardi down at Fort Myers.
Very impressive that night was Adam Warren.
Ball is lined towards left field. Ibanez started in, now holds his ground and makes the catch for out number 2. Now Ibanez in left field is going to be used more or less as a designated hitter for the Yankees. But this is his third start in left field this spring. He's also made a couple in right field, but more often than not, he's been the designated hitter for Joe Girardi.
You know, the Yankees, you hear about their young pitching prospects, as you see Joe Girardi talking to Dickerson there. Wondering, you know, a long conversation there, maybe something going on there. But it's always tough this time of year for managers, and guys get sent out. There are a lot of decisions being made. But back to the Yankee young pitchers, you know, you hear a lot about, you know, Betances and Banuelos, but the second tier, Warren, as we mentioned before, and this guy are strike throwers. I mean, you'd have no problem calling these guys up if there's injuries or if there's a need. There's no fear in these guys, and you know, maybe they're not mid-90s, 95-mile-an-hour power guys, but they know how to pitch, and they're not afraid, and they get the ball over the plate.
I'll tell you what, Adam Warren was 94, a couple of 95 down there in Fort Myers. Here's Robert Andino, who's playing shortstop tonight. He will probably be the opening day second baseman for the Orioles. And he takes a pitch a little bit low for a ball. Andino will play second, primarily because Brian Roberts, the all-star Orioles second baseman, will begin the year on the disabled list, still dealing with concussion syndrome, which saw him play, I think, at most 39 games last year. And Andino played more than he ever played in the big leagues last year. Ball is hit hard and on into left field for a base hit. In fact, it was Andino who got the hit that beat the Boston Red Sox in the final game of the season last year. And it's interesting because when Andino faced the Rays this spring, Joe Maddon had the Rays come out on the top step and give Andino a round of applause and appreciated his efforts in knocking the Red Sox out of the playoffs. And it wasn't only that game. Andino beat Boston at Fenway Park with a 3-run bases loaded double. I think it was off Jonathan Papelbon that erased the deficit, and the Orioles won that game against Boston. They beat Boston 5 of the last 7 games. So Joe Maddon and the Rays appreciated it. Andino thought it was kind of funny that the Rays are standing on the top step giving him a standing ovation. Here's Ryan Flaherty, and he'll take a pitch low and away for ball 1. In fact, it was shortly thereafter that Evan Longoria hit the home run against the Yankees to propel the Rays into the playoffs. And the Red Sox were done. Flaherty, a Rule 5 player, come over from the Chicago Cubs. This ball is popped high in the air. Who's going to make the play? Looks like Teixeira. He does. And that's going to be it for Baltimore here in the second inning. They pick up a run on 2 hits. There was a Yankee error. Baltimore leads it 1-0 at the end of 1.5. Raul Ibanez takes the first pitch at the bottom of the second over the outside corner for a call strike. Ibanez working very hard with Kevin Long, the Yankee hitting coach, to get himself going. Now, those are his numbers from last year with the Philadelphia Phillies. But this spring, at this point, he's hitting .089, which is more like a bingo number. But he's been hitting the ball much better. He was robbed of a home run yesterday by Jason Hayward, who used all 6'5", maybe even 6'6", to stretch over the fence and pull a home run back. And Robbie Ibanez in yesterday's game, the 5-5 tie, the Yankees and the Braves over in Orlando. 2-1 pitch. Ibanez fouls it back, and the count evens at 2-2. He'll be followed by Andrew Jones and Brett Gardner for the Yankees here in the second. They trail 1-0 to the Orioles.
Well, the obvious thinking of Brian Cashman and the Yankees with Ibanez is obviously the left-handed DH role and the power at Yankee Stadium he can provide. So that's what they want to see is him start to drive the ball.
He drives this one to deep right field, way back. This one is gone. A home run for Raul Ibanez, and it's a 1-1 ball game. There's a happy fan out there in the bleachers, but from Ibanez's standpoint, maybe better late than never, huh? So his second home run of the spring.
You can see even Reggie Jackson's up off the bench to give him a swing, and that's what you want right there, inner half up, and he really gets to this pitch. It might not even be a strike. Just wins the battle, beats him to the spot, and launches it.
So a leadoff home run for Ibanez here in the second, and it'll bring up Andrew Jones. Andrew getting a lot of playing time lately with Nick Swisher out of the lineup. We mentioned that Swisher's had some at-bats in minor league games and might be back in the lineup tomorrow night. We'll be back here on Yes tomorrow night. The Philadelphia Phillies Be here at Steinbrenner Field. Outside for a ball. 1-1 to Andrew Jones. Well, when you start to look at the makeup of the division, you got the Yankees, of course, last year's division winners. Breaking balls inside. Curveball misses. It's 2-1. You have the Rays. Very good team. They won over 90 games. The Red Sox finished out of the playoff picture, but they won over 90. And you have the Toronto Blue Jays. Ground ball towards short for Andino. He's got it. Throws on the first, and that's out number 1. The Blue Jays finished at 500, 81-81, and then you have the Baltimore Orioles, who are in last place. The Orioles 69 wins, 93 losses. They brought in a boatload of pitchers this spring, hoping to find enough to fill out their rotation. Looks like Jake Arrieta is going to be the opening day starter for Buck Showalter. Tommy Hunter, Brian Mattis, Jason Hamill's going to be one of the starters, and a young man from Taiwan, Wei Yin Chen, who looks like he might be in the starting rotation. Pitch to Gardner's in there for a call strike. Gardner hitting .220 this spring with a run batted in. But that's not his game. 5 stolen bases without being caught. Slashes one foul.
Well, you know, you bring up an interesting point about the Orioles, Kenny, in terms of their pitching last year. I mean, they were last in the major leagues in ERA, 5.39. Their WHIP, walks plus hits and innings pitched, was last in the major leagues at 1.52. Strikeouts to walk ratio, last in the major leagues, and the most home runs in the major leagues given up. Yeah. So, I mean, they have nowhere to go but up.
Hamill deals a little chopper towards third. Going to be a tough play. Reynolds charging, gets a good hop, throws high, and he gets Gardner by an eyelash. So now there are 2 outs. Let's go back and take a look at the Orioles last season. ERA last. Opponent's batting average against 13th. Quality starts only 60. That's last. Home runs allowed most 210. You know, but it all boils down to runs. They had 56 games in which they allowed 5 or more runs in a game. That was the most in the major league. So you're right, David. If you don't pitch, particularly in the Eastern Division, you're not going to win. Here's Eduardo Nunez, who has bounced back nicely from being hit by a pitch early in spring training. That's what he did last year. Here in spring training, he's hitting .393. And he takes one upstairs for a ball, 1-1.
Maybe the most coveted player, young player in the Yankees organization. Certainly a guy, Eduardo Nunez, that a lot of teams would love to have right now.
Tonight he's playing second base. Robinson Cano getting the night off. I was talking to Mick Kelleher, the Yankee first base coach and infield instructor, about Nunez. And I asked him how far has Nunez come as far as playing the other positions besides shortstop, his favorite position. He said he is 100% better at second base, turning to double play, the footwork, and all that sort of thing. You know, getting lined up with the shortstop, getting his footwork down so he can turn to double play at second. Shortstop's his favorite position, no doubt about it. Third base, you saw him fill in for A-Rod last year when A-Rod was injured. But Mick Kelleher has done a good job. He filled in for Jeter. I should say Nunez filled in for Jeter when Jeter was on the DL. And he also can play some in the outfield. The Yankees have had him play the outfield a little bit during the course of spring training here. So a very valuable player in the Yankee scheme of things. That's what he did with Jeter on the DL last year. .339. Fouls it back to the screen. And you're right. There's a lot of teams would like to have him playing shortstop. Or just about any place else. Might be the heir apparent to the captain when the day comes.
He's untouchable. You know, if you're Brian Cashman, you've gotten that call a lot, and the answer is no.
2-2 pitch is on the way, and it's low and in the dirt. The count has gone full at 3-2. Yankees have scored on a leadoff home run by Raul Ibanez here in the second inning. Ibanez's second home run of the spring, and the game is now tied at 1. Payoff pitch on the way to Nunez. Curveball hit on the ground to short. Nice hop for Andino. And he throws on the first. And it's the Yankees are retired here in the second. But Raul Ibanez. Nothing eating Raul tonight. It's a home run. And the game is tied at 1. David Phelps ready to face the top of the Oriole lineup here in the top of the third. We're going to the top as well. We're going to Jack Curry, who's coming in here in the third inning, and Jack has plenty of information for us. The man's all over the ballpark before the game. And I guess that we should start with Ivan Nova, who's not starting against the Orioles tonight for a reason, because he faced him once already this spring.
Right, and I think, Kenny, you can take that point even a little further into the season. The second series of the season for the Yankees is against the Orioles. So if you start to line up your rotation and think maybe Nova could be your number 4 guy or your number 5 guy, why do you want to give the Orioles another look at him? So he pitches a minor league game today against the AAA Blue Jays. Does okay. His numbers are nice. 7 1/3 innings, 3 earned runs. Now, Joe Girardi said don't read too much into the fact that he was held out of this start. But you know what? I am. I'm reading a lot into it. And I think that we'll see Nova pitching in Baltimore in early April in one of those games.
Nolan Raimo leads off with a single to right field here in the top of the third. So Nova has looked pretty in and out this spring. He's had some good outings, and he had some where he got roughed up a bit. But I guess the Yankees are going off what he did last year.
Joe Girardi has said, he's been asked countless times, how are you going to make this rotation decision? And he said, when you look at Nova, you have to factor in what he did last year. So if you just look at the numbers this year, you're right. Between Pineda, Nova, Garcia, and Hughes, Nova's numbers are the worst if you're just basing it on spring training. But I don't think you can ignore what this guy did last year. Won 16 games, kept them in a lot of games. Learned how to pitch with runners on base. I thought he was terrific with runners on base. There are those spring numbers, but I still get the impression, guys, that Freddie Garcia is going to be the odd guy out, that he's going to be the guy to go to the bullpen. I look at those 3 young arms, and if I'm the Yankees, I want to see what those young guys can give me. I know what Freddie Garcia can give me. Let me go with the younger guys.
It's not an easy decision, is it?
It's not an easy decision. There's also the possibility, you look at Garcia, could he be trade bait? Could they want to make a move? There are a lot of teams that could use Freddie Garcia right now.
No kidding.
And you wait, and the reason Joe Girardi hasn't made a decision yet, you guys know this, somebody could get injured in the next couple of days, and they want Freddie Garcia to know, hey, you were one of our guys, you were in the running for that final spot.
Speaking of injuries, Nick Johnson takes a pitch inside for a ball. Nick has had to deal with injuries throughout his career when he was with the Yankees and other ball clubs, but he has a chance to make the Orioles here.
Talked to him by the batting cage, Kenny, and that was what the entire discussion was about. When we weren't talking about Jeremy Lin because he's a big NBA fan, he said, I just got to make the team and stay on the field. And that's what he's trying to do.
One hopper to Jeter, steps on the bag at second for one on the Desher, and there's a double play. The toughest part of that play was the reception by Derek Jeter. Short hop hit hard by Nick Johnson, but Jeter's going to turn 2. Made it look routine, didn't he?
Not a lot of rain down here in Florida. And I tell you what, you cannot water this infield enough. I mean, the ground is so hard. We saw the ball with A-Rod earlier in the game. I mean, it's really tough for these infields down here in spring training in Florida.
Yeah, the rainy season's coming, though. Pitch is low inside to Nick Markakis. Now, as far as the rotation, you say you feel Freddie Garcia is the one that can be the odd man out.
You disagree? You think?
Well, is he the one who could handle it the best?
I think he is the guy who you know the most about.
Okay.
And I think you still, Pineda was the guy you made a big trade for with Montero. You want to see what he can give you. Hughes has had a terrific spring. I would lock in Hughes right now. I don't think
he's in the picture.
I don't even think he's in the discussion.
Yeah.
I think it's Kuroda, Sabathia, and Hughes are already in there. Then you look at Nova and Pineda versus Garcia, and I think the Yankees, I asked 2 members, high-ranking members of the Yankee organization today, and they both said, listen, this is still a process. We're still evaluating this. But I just lean towards the younger arms. I think those are the guys who are going to be here. Freddie Garcia is a nice piece to have. He's a nice insurance policy. But if I were Larry Rothschild or Joe Girardi, and I'm not, I would go with the younger guys.
Now, Jack, we're up here with 2 outs now. We don't want to start on another subject, so you're going to be here with us for the bottom half of the inning as well.
Not going anywhere,
Okay,
Kenny.
that's good. Markakis takes call strike 3 because you wouldn't have got that story in after that call 3rd strike. So, after a leadoff single, a double play and a strikeout, the Yankees coming to bat in the bottom of the 3rd. Hey fans, individual game tickets for the 2012 season at Yankee Stadium are now on sale at Yankees.com and through Ticketmaster. Get your tickets today. See Yankees take on the rest of the American League as well as some great interleague matchups. And you don't want to miss the 66th annual Old Timers Day on Sunday, July 1st. To purchase tickets, visit Yankees.com or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. Here we are, bottom of the third inning, and Francisco Cervelli swings at the first pitch. It's a high fly ball, deep center field. And it's Adam Jones back to the warning track who makes the catch. One pitch and one out. Jack Curry still with David Carl and with Ken Singleton. DJ Mitchell's going to pitch tonight. And you've got some information about this young man as well.
Right. Sometimes Joe Girardi will slip some things into his press conferences and will make you think. And today he said, listen, we're going to throw Mitchell 1 inning tonight. Sometime after Phelps, he'll get that 1 inning. And then we're going to bring him back on Saturday and have him throw another inning. Now, Mitchell's been a starter in the minor leagues, but a lot of scouts say that he could be a guy who's a bullpen guy. Be right, because he gets those ground balls. He has that sinker. Austin Romine said it's the best sinker in the organization, kind of almost acts like a screwball. So by Girardi giving us that information, it makes you wonder, is Mitchell a guy who's now in the mix for a potential bullpen spot? It's a lot of pieces to the puzzle that the Yankees are trying to put together, but they're obviously, at the very least, they're auditioning him in this role to see how he reacts.
Swinging a miss by Jeter to count is 0-2. Mitchell was the Yankees minor league pitcher of the year last year. He won 13 games at Scranton Wilkes-Barre. So we'll get a look at him tonight, and as Jack said, again on Saturday. See if he can make the club out of the bullpen.
If you take that one step further, Jack, then that makes you think that maybe whoever the odd guy out, if that's Freddie Garcia, maybe there's a trade coming.
There, you can go that route, or how about this? Say Freddie Garcia wins the rotation spot. You take one of the younger guys, Nova, Pineda, and send them down to AAA, and then you'd have an extra spot in the bullpen, because Girardi also said it's not etched in stone that whoever the rotation battle loser is goes straight to the bullpen. He said that's not a definite.
Jeter called that on strike, so it's 2 up and 2 down for the Yankees here in the third against Jason Hamill. That is Hamill's second strikeout.
Sorry, Kenny. I do think if it was Garcia, he would go to the bullpen. If he's the sixth starter, he would go to the bullpen. But one of the younger guys, you'd want to keep them pitching at AAA as a starter.
Now, you had a chance to talk to Buck Showalter, or Buck Showalter made his feelings about Andy Pettitte coming back to the Yankees.
Right, Kenny. I go back to '95, and I remember Pettitte as a rookie and Buck Showalter. And David, you were there, obviously. Showalter talked about before '95 how he saw this kid who he called him Pudgy. So, Andy, those were his words, not mine. He said this pudgy minor leaguer who used to watch throw on the side.
Oh, a little looper dropped in by Curtis Granderson. An excuse me swing. And he picks himself up a base hit. Granderson's had himself a good spring.
And a good sign for the Yankees that he's even in there tonight, Kenny. After that MRI, they got good news there. And Joe Girardi said, listen, I'm just going to DH him tonight, but I want to get him back out there. But back to Showalter real quickly. He said he had a conversation with Pettitte, and right away he kind of could see the drive in this kid. And he gave Tony Cloninger a lot of credit. He said Cloninger was really one of the first people in the organization who said, keep an eye on this kid. He could really be somebody who could help us in a few years.
Well, I think he's beaten the Orioles like 26 or 27 times in his career, so I'm sure Buck is not all that thrilled that Andy Pettitte is coming back. Here's Alex Rodriguez, who had a single his first time up, single to center field, hitting .316 this spring. And one other note, if you can get this in quickly, Jack, about left-handers out of the bullpen.
All right, Cesar Cabral and Clay Rapata. It's coming down to who's going to win that second lefty spot, and Cabral feels very good about his chances. He's the harder thrower. He's the younger guy. He's also a Rule 5 pick. So Brian Cashman said, listen, he's either going to make the team, we're going to trade him, because we're not going to put him on waivers. Somebody will pick him up. He's been that good this spring. And I asked Cabral, do you think you've done enough to make the team? He said, I hope so. I did a good job. I feel I have a chance. And we've seen him, and David, you referenced that game where he had the 6 strikeouts in 2 innings. He looks like a guy who could be a big help out of the pen.
Well, we want to thank Jack as Alex Rodriguez flies out to end the bottom of the third inning. We're tied at 1. Jack Curry, the information man. Thanks, Jack. We'll be right back. Tonight, stick around for the Yes Network special event, 10 Years of Yes. It's a story of magical moments and remarkable people that made up our dramatic first decade, including memories from the athletes, the fans, and the personalities who witnessed history. 10 Years of Yes. Tonight after the game, only on Yes. You know, David, that's the way I like to hit, with ducks on the pond. RBIs.
Yeah, and your eyes lit up, too, when you saw those ducks on the pond.
Here's Andrew Jones. Adam Jones is going to lead it off. And Phelps' first pitch is poured right on by him, a strike. Jones having a very good spring. Hitting at .356, 3 home runs, leading the Orioles in runs batted in with 11. That's outside for a ball. This is a big year for Adam Jones. He can be a free agent at the end of the season. And this is a player who numbers have been trending upwards. He's already won a Gold Glove, won one pitch, and he tried to check on a slider. Did he go around? No, says the first base umpire. Just to the right of Buck Showalter there is on the left side of your picture is Brady Anderson. Former Oriole outfielder, had one big year, had 50 home runs one year. And Brady now working with the ball club. He's in uniform during the course of spring training now. He actually trains a lot of the Orioles in the offseason in California. And Brady might have actually a big part in what happens with the Orioles this year. He retrained Brian Mattis this year. Tried to get the left-hander into shape, who admittedly was not in shape when he came to spring training last year. And really suffered for it. I think Mattis went 1-10 last year, and the Orioles were really counting on him. So Mattis has a chance to redeem himself, and a lot of the credit might go to Brady Anderson. Brady, during his heyday, was known to keep himself in primetime condition. Very popular with the Orioles during his heyday. He and Cal Ripken, probably the most popular Orioles during that time. 2-2 pitch to Adam Jones, bounce it towards short. Nice hop for Derek Jeter to throw across the diamond. One pitch and one out. 2011 season in review for the Orioles. Team ERA worst in the major leagues. Robert Sineline with concussion, still dealing with those issues. Weeder's bat sizzles in the second half, hit a career high 22 home runs. Jones and Hardy combined for 55 home runs. J.J. Hardy not playing tonight. He's dealing with a sore shoulder. In fact, had a cortisone shot, but he hit 30 home runs last year as the Orioles shortstop. Here's Matt Wieters, the catcher. A couple of home runs this spring. Had a triple his first time up and scored the Oriole run in the second inning. This ball's hit well to center. This is going to chase Gardner back to the warning track. He can't get it. Off the wall in center field, and Wieters continues to hit the ball hard this spring. Now he has a double to go with the triple that he hit in the second inning.
You can almost tell by the sound off the bat. He generates tremendous bat speed, leverage. Brett Gardner, no chance. The only question whether it stayed in the ballpark or not.
So Wieters now at second base with one out to bring up Mark Reynolds, the third baseman. Reynolds reached on an error by the third baseman Alex Rodriguez in the second inning. And he hits one into right field. It's going to drop in there for at least a base hit. Wieters is going to score. Reynolds is on his way to second. And Baltimore leads 2-1. Mark Reynolds with a double. So back-to-back doubles. Wieters and Reynolds turned the trick, and the Orioles have jumped out in front here in the fourth.
Reynolds with his power swing, you can see he almost just inside outs it. You don't see him take that kind of swing very often. He's usually trying to pull the ball, hit it out of the ballpark. I think the Orioles would love to see him do that a little more, maybe cut down on the strikeouts.
Well, they cut down somewhat last year. He still led the league in striking out, but he didn't reach 200 for the first time in 3 years. Actually ended with a team record for Baltimore, 196 strikeouts. Foul tipped off the bat of Chris Davis and into the glove of Francisco Cervelli, strike one. Davis is another player, high strikeout player. During his time with Texas, they tried to work on all kinds of ways to cut down on his strikeouts, and they kind of finally gave up on him. He's got good power, good low fastball hitter, but if you elevate the fastball, he has trouble getting to it. You can see Cervelli had the target set up in the zone, but the pitch missed the inside corner, and it's ball one.
Well, Cervelli, very demonstrative in the way he catches. His energy level very high. The way he gives a target and sets up.
He got some praise when I was talking to Tony Pena before today's game. Tony was a high level, high energy type catcher. And there is his protege catching tonight, Francisco Cervelli. Tony was actually having a discussion with Rick Dempsey, the former Oriole and former Yankee for that matter. It was in the park. Ground ball to short. Reynolds goes over to third. Jeter throws high, and safe is Davis. It's going to be an error on Derek Jeter, and that'll put runners on the corners with one out. And I believe what happened, Derek took a look at the runner and didn't relocate first base.
Exactly. You can see maybe he's thinking about taking a shot at third. By the time he makes his mind up, a little peek over there. Reynolds going, and then comes up and out of it a little bit, and the ball sails up the line on him.
Second error for the Yankees tonight. That'll bring up Robert Andino, the shortstop. First and third with one out. The Orioles have a run in and lead 2-1. Andino hits a ground ball to short. This could be two. Nope, the runner's on the move. He's safe at second. The throw to first is in time. Buck Showalter had the runner on the move to stay out of the double play, and it results in another run for the Orioles. They lead 3-1.
That's exactly right. And this is tailor-made double play ball, but not with the runner running. And even though the Jeter's close to the bag, no chance to turn it. This time the good throw to first.
That'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Ryan Flaherty, who tonight is playing second base. Flaherty is a Rule 5 player. He came over from the Cubs. But his ability to play just about anywhere on the field, he can play the outfield positions, particularly the corners, and anywhere in the infield. And the Orioles like his versatility, and it appears that he has made the team. He's having himself a pretty good spring. He has a home run and 10 runs batted in, with a chance for another RBI here with 2 outs. So by having Davis on the move, the Orioles stay out of a double play and pick up an extra run. Inside for a ball. And we talk about the difficulty of the American League East and navigating it for a team to win the division. I think of the managers in this division. You got some top flight managerial timber in this division. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-2. You start with Joe Girardi here, Joe Madden with the Rays, Bobby Valentine, John Farrell with the Blue Jays, and of course Buck Showalter twice has been manager of the year. So you start with the managers in this division. It's you got some guys who know what they're doing. That pitch is low and away.
Sure didn't take Bobby V long to throw some Tabasco sauce into this race thing. I mean, already in spring training he's got it going.
Now from what I understand, before the Red Sox actually hired Bobby V, they called Toronto to see if they could get John Farrell back. Farrell had been their pitching coach. And after the laughter settled down from the Toronto side, then they hung up the phone. Farrell's going to stay with the Toronto Blue Jays. Here's the final out as Flaherty grounds out to Nunez to Teixeira. Baltimore picks up a couple of runs and leads 3-1.
of seeing that shift. And, if I have to lay down a bunt every now and then to keep the defense honest, I think I'm going to need to do that. Lining out to the second baseman in right field is no fun. So if I can move the defense around a little bit, open up a few more holes, that might be good for me and for the team.
Well, it might be good for the team right here. The Orioles have the shift employed. The Yankees are down by 2 runs, and you want to get on base for the next guy. Let's see what happens. First pitch is low and inside for ball 1 from Jason Hamill. Teixeira talking about maybe laying down a few bunts this year. And if you look at the Orioles, the way they are set up in the infield, that's the third baseman playing it short. That pitch is outside for a ball. Now, you might not want to give away something you're going to do in the regular season. Remember, the Orioles are a team you're going to play quite a bit. But it might be a way to get that shift off your back. 2-0 pitch. That's outside, ball 3. Hamill falls behind. The 3-0 pitch is poured in there for a strike. It's 3-1. Ball is hit in the air towards center field. Going back is Andino, who makes the catch. So Teixeira's bid for a bloop single into center field is taken away by the Orioles shortstop, and there's one down. Nice play. A 1 out, and Raul Ibanez would come to the plate. He represents the Yankees' run tonight. He had a leadoff home run in the second inning, way back in the bleachers in right field. Ibanez, his second home run of the spring. It was a no-doubter. Outside for a ball. Orioles traded for Hamill on February the 6th. He and Matt Lindstrom came over from the Colorado Rockies for Jeremy Guthrie. The pitch is low, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Before time with the Rockies, Hamill pitched parts of 3 seasons with the Tampa Bay Rays. That pitch is outside, ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes.
Well, he's been impressive. He's 6'6". He gets good leverage. He's thrown the ball upwards of 96 miles an hour on the top end tonight so far. Got good stuff, much like Jeremy Guthrie, the guy he was traded for, as we said earlier.
There's a call strike, and it's 3-1. Another thing about Hamill, like father, like son. His son Beckett is born on the same day he was. Of course, years apart. Knee-high strike, and the count is now full on Ibanez. 3-2.
Well, he's got to feel pretty good about getting out of Colorado. I mean, a notorious hitter's park and the altitude out there, but Camden Yards isn't a whole lot better.
Payoff pitch, and it's a curveball swung on it, missed, strike 3. So he fought back from a 3-0 deficit and strikes out Ibanez. That is the 3rd strikeout for Jason Hamill.
He's shown a good slider as well. The lefties, that's just perfect. Down and in, a back leg slider, sinker slider. You can see you can eat up a lot of left-handed batters with that pitch right there.
That's the first one he threw in that at bat. All the others have been fastballs. Here's Andrew Jones. Andrew grounded out to short, and he takes a fastball for a call strike.
Impressive, 96 miles an hour right on the outside corner. I think the Orioles have to be very pleased with the stuff they're seeing out of Hamill.
Ball and a strike to Andrew Jones. Jones playing in right field tonight. Look out. And that got Andrew Jones. Look near the left elbow. And he'll be headed to first base. I don't know what it is between the Yankees and the Orioles, but a lot of Yankees get hit by pitches. You can joke about it, but you're trying to get through spring training without people getting hurt, and Andrew Jones takes one near the elbow with 2 outs and nobody on. To me, sometimes that's a giveaway.
Picked up where Jeremy Guthrie left off.
Yeah, well, they traded for him. One for the other. It must be the notes that Guthrie left in his locker. Got to hit at least one Yankee. Here's Brett Gardner with Andruw Jones now at first base. Gardner grounded out to third his first time on a bang-bang play. Was thrown out by Reynolds. No throw out here. A line drive into center field. Jones turns at second. He's going to hang on there. So the Yankees now have 2 on with 2 outs. As Brett Gardner picks up his first hit of the night.
Love to see Brett Gardner pick his spots to swing at first pitches every now and then. He's notorious for taking a lot of pitches, but right down the middle, first pitch fastball, bang. You know, that's going to keep a lot of opposing pitchers honest. And Brett Gardner, when he's in the box, because he always, or most of the time, takes that first pitch, even if it's right down the middle, a little more of that can do him a lot of good.
He also gets a lot of first pitch fastballs because pitchers do not want to walk him. He's an instant rally if he gets to first base. So every once in a while, you got to jump on that first heater. Here's Eduardo Nunez, who grounded out to short. 2 on, 2 out for the Yankees here in the bottom of the 4th inning. And that pitch is in there for a call strike. Having a good spring at .379, on base percentage at 40%. Tried to check. Did he go around? No, says the first base umpire. Now, we told you Marty Foster is the home plate umpire. Mike Estabrook, Vic Carapazza, and Mike Amari are the base umpires. But during spring training, the umpires on the bases move around. They get work at all different bases during the course of a game. There's a pitch for a called strike, and it's 1-2 on Nunez. That misses upstairs, and the count levels off at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 2's abound. 2-2 with 2 outs and 2 on. And the Yankees trailing by a deuce. The Buck, Showalter, and the Baltimore Orioles. Showalter trying to lead the Yankees out of a hole. 14 straight losing seasons. 3-1 pitch. I should say the 2-2 pitch is outside for a ball. Count is now full at 3-2. 14 straight losing seasons. And what you hear on the talk shows in Baltimore, they talk a lot of football. And they talk about the Ravens. The runners will be going on the 3-2 pitch. It's on the no. Hamill turns and chases Andruw Jones back to second.
It has been tough to watch. I mean, the Orioles, such a great franchise for so many years, and then Camden Yards, when it first came into play, was the model ballpark for all these new ballparks to come into play.
Runners go. Pitch is grounded down the first base line, but foul. And the runners will return. Believe it or not, David, this is the 20th anniversary of Camden Yards this year. Also around baseball, Dodger Stadium, 50 years. And Fenway Park in Boston, 100 years. You see the hat that Brady Anderson's wearing? They're bringing those back this year. They haven't worn those in quite a while, since I was playing, so it's been quite a while. Runners go again. Pitch is swung on and missed, strike 3. So the Yankees will leave 2 men on here in the 4th inning. It's on to the 5th. Baltimore leads 3-1. On the Audi scoreboard, the Orioles are leading the Yankees by a score of 3-1. It's the top of the fifth, and that means it's time for the Yankee manager Joe Girardi to join us. And Joe, we appreciate your efforts coming on with us during the course of spring training. And once again tonight, let's talk about the youngster on the mound tonight. This is some more pitching depth in the organization.
Yeah, we're pretty thrilled about what we have at this time. You know, you're going to see Phelps tonight. You're going to see Mitchell tonight. Warren's probably going to pitch maybe Saturday. And we've sent some good starters down already, Banuelos and Batanzas. So we're thrilled about what we have.
AAA is going to have a heck of a staff.
Yes, they are.
Here's Nolan Raimo leading it off, and he hits the first pitch on the ground and through the hole in the left field for a base hit. It's Raimo's second hit of the ball game. Joe, you got some tough decisions coming up as far as the rotation's concerned, and also, you know, I don't envy being a manager or general manager this time of the spring because you have to send youngsters out and all that sort of thing. It's something you can't look forward to.
Yeah, and as you get closer to opening day, the cuts are harder because a lot of the cuts early in spring training are kids that, you know, might have been on an A ball, maybe double A, that just need to go play. And everyone here feels, you know, that they have an opportunity to make a club, and that's where it becomes even harder because you know you're really going to disappoint some guys.
Here's Nick Johnson, and he takes a pitch inside for a ball. I remember one spring, David, I was the last man sent down. That hurt.
Yeah, you should have refused to go.
No, well, I was back in June, which was a good thing. Yeah, you know, in a way it got to me, but I knew what I had to do, and I think that's the same thing these youngsters have to do as well. Well,
and I think they're competing now at a level, you know, it's late in spring training. Guys are almost ready. You know, you're facing A lineups. I think it really helps them to see these type of hitters. If you're a pitcher and you're a hitter, to see the type of pitcher that you're going to see, where they get a chance to measure up a little bit and see what they need to do and what they need to improve on.
Overall, as we get towards the last week of spring training, are you happy the way things have broken down?
I have. I think we've had a good camp, and you know, knock on wood, we've been fortunate. We have not had any rainouts, and we've been able to stay on schedule and keep guys. You know, a lot of the guys that are vying for, you know, some spots, you know, they could be in the AAA rotation. We've been able to build these guys up as well. So I tell you what, Larry and Topper do a tremendous job of organizing our camp and making sure everything runs right.
Do you get the sense at this time of spring training the players are ready to play for real?
Yeah.
Runners on the move, ground ball towards first, and Teixeira can't get it over his head on a high hop. Raimo is going to continue on the third and be held there. Nick Johnson hustling will get into second base with a hopping double over the head of Mark Teixeira. So it's second and third with nobody out for Baltimore here in the fifth.
Yeah. Yeah, you can hold on one second.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I'm back.
All right. As I was saying, this is the time of spring training when players really want to get things going.
Yeah, it is because we've been going at it for a month here of games almost, and guys are getting anxious to get the season started. And you know, you can tell about how great the weather's been here because you see how hard infields are. I mean, you're not going to see that if it's rained as much as you usually see in Florida, and you're starting to see a lot of these type of hits.
Here's Nick Markakis. How about the managers and the coaches? Are they ready to go too?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of times spring training is even more difficult on us because of all the work that it takes, and you know, organizing 70 guys when spring training starts. So it's nice to get down to your 25 guys.
Markakis fouls the first pitch off for strike one. Bus rides get old?
Oh, they sure do. And there's some long ones involved. You know, I mean, there's some places that are a good distance away. So it was nice in the beginning. We played Philadelphia, I think, 3 times in the first 3 days. And
play them tomorrow.
That's the shortest bus trip that we have.
You get them again tomorrow night, right?
Yes,
here.
we do.
So, Joe, you know, everybody wants to know, you know, what's going to happen with the rotation. And I'm not expecting trade secrets here, but as far as how do you square?
Are you coming back too?
Yeah, if I was left-handed, I'd be right down in your hip pocket.
Make my decision a little harder.
Yeah. How do you square, you know, say a young guy that's got more upside potential or a veteran guy like Freddie that you know what you're going to get? I mean, how do you weigh those two issues?
Those are a couple things that you have to weigh, and we do have a lot of young guys vying for these spots. So you're trying to predict, you know, what they're going to do. It's hard, Coney. I mean, it's really hard. Freddie has been outstanding in spring training, and you know, everything we heard about Freddie when he came in last year is don't expect to see anything in spring training, and he's been tremendous. But you got to go with your gut, and you have to understand too that it's not necessarily permanent. It's not someone that says, you know, if you make this decision, you have to live with it the whole year. If you feel you have to make an adjustment, you make an adjustment.
Markakis foul tips it into the glove of Cervelli, and he has struck out for the second time. Now, Joe, we expect things to be heated between the Yankees and the Red Sox, but a little controversy last week when you decided you didn't want to play into extra innings with Boston down there at Fort Myers. And, you know, is that what we expect from you and the Red Sox all season long?
Well, I mean, those games are always a lot of fun when we get together. It was just a lack of communication. And, you know, we were just the guy that I think it was Mitchell. We wanted him to get a starter. It was Phelpsy. Phelpsy was supposed to go, and his wife had a baby. So things changed for us dramatically, and we just didn't feel that we had the pitching. We had a split doubleheader the next day. But, you know, it's going to be a heated rivalry. It always has been, and it's not going to change.
How about the 125-mile bus ride back to Tampa? Did it have anything to do with it?
No, I mean, it would have been another 15 minutes. We got home late anyway, but we just didn't feel we had anything left.
Adam Jones fouls the pitch off, and he's behind in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. Let's see if Phelps, how he can pitch under pressure here, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, he got the first guy, Markakis, a tough hitter. He's got Jones where he wants him, and you know, he's got to go for the strikeout here. It would be nice if he had Coney's Laredo here. That would help, but he doesn't have that. So he's got to make a quality pitch, and he's got a couple pitches where he can try to get him to chase. I mean, there's nothing that says that he has to throw him a strike here the next couple of pitches. And I always look at it too. You got an open base, and if you can get a ground ball out of Wieters, who's hit the ball well tonight, you could get a double play. So have to go for the strikeout here.
Pitch is fouled off. Speaking of the Laredo pitch from David Cohn, was that a called pitch by you, or it just came up to the plate?
No, I would give a little sign like this. You know, I'd put down the slider and like this, but he could also throw it on his own, and it didn't bother me as long as I knew what the pitch was.
You could expect that it's going to be a drop-down slider.
Yes, I would give a sign, but sometimes I wouldn't give the sign, and he would still throw it. But it didn't bother me because I could see that he was dropping down.
From your standpoint, Coney, what?
Joe never gave me any trouble at all. He really did. You know, he was great for me. He knew. I think the thing about Joe that he understands, and I think Russell Martin has a little bit of that in him as well, is that, you know, when the pitchers are hot and they're keyed up, it's a catcher's job to sort of work with the pitcher and not, you know, sort of calm him down. And Joe could tell. He could read my face and know when I was getting a little keyed up, or if he said the wrong thing or did the wrong thing, he might set me off. And I think you had to be almost a psychiatrist back there sometimes to be a catcher.
Well, you had to laugh about it sometimes too. You know, when you know, sometimes pitchers need to vent just like the rest of us. And if he needed to vent, and I happened to be the guy, I was okay with it. It didn't bother me because I knew we had a great relationship, and that was just part of who he was and his intensity. And I loved that part of him.
Pitch is high for ball 1-2. Speaking of a great relationship, you two work together in a perfect game.
Yeah.
You can't get any better than that.
No, but he was perfect. I just had to put some fingers down. I was more nervous that I was going to screw it up than anything. So, I mean, he was incredible.
Joe, what part of that game did you sense that David Cohn had something special working that afternoon at Yankee Stadium?
You know, about there it is. About the 5th or 6th inning, you know, I started thinking, you know, we got a shot here. And the guy that I worried about the most was Vlad Guerrero, because he could chase a pitch and still hit it. I mean, a lot of guys, when they chase pitches, they're swinging and missing. Not Vlad Guerrero. You could bounce it and he could hit it. So he was the guy that I worried about the most. And when we got by him, it was either in the 3rd out in the 7th, or I think it was the 3rd out in the 7th. I really believed we had a great shot at it.
And things fell into place from that point on, and you two guys are part of the Yankee history forever. A perfect game at Yankee Stadium in front of a big crowd. And Yogi Berra was actually there that day, and Don Larson as well.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible.
Wow.
I asked Yogi to bless my mitt that day, and the day that Don Larson threw out the first pitch, so it was really kind of neat to see.
Now, speaking of catching, you've got Matt Wieters, who was a first-time All-Star. Joe, you've seen this guy grow into a pretty good catcher.
Yeah, and you know what? I think sometimes what goes unnoticed is his defense. I mean, he's a good defensive catcher, and you know, he's had a staff that has had a lot of different guys, and he's had to learn them quickly, and I think he's done a really good job. And it's a switch hitter that has, you know, power from both sides of the plate. So I mean, this is a good young player.
Yeah, and I still think he's in the growing process.
Oh, I agree too. When you say growing process, you don't mean he's going to get taller, because if he does, he's not going to be able to catch much longer.
You have to go to the NBA. 2-0 pitch is outside for a ball.
So, Joe, you're looking forward to maybe having a second lefty in your bullpen this year?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it. We might carry a second left-hander. We have some guys vying for that position that have thrown the ball pretty well for us. So, I mean, we feel that we might have the opportunity to do that, and that can be advantageous. Sometimes you need that first lefty early in the game, and it might help us.
Here's a pitch for a call, strike 3-1. Speaking of lefties, Boone Logan's warming up in the Yankee bullpen.
Yeah, Booney's scheduled to pitch tonight, and so is Mo, and then we're going to see DJ. No, we're going to see DJ Mitchell.
Now, what about Cesar Cabral? He has looked very good this year.
Yeah, and you know, his slider has improved with us, and we think he's done it when he's continued to improve as spring training has went on, and he's looked pretty good.
Now, I don't want to jinx young Mr. Phelps here, but he's going to, if he gets out of this inning, he has shown some mettle.
Yeah.
In the top of the fifth.
And these are the things that you can grow from, and you know that I can do this. I can do this at this level. It's the bottom line is making my pitches. It's no different here than it is anywhere else. You have to be more consistent, but I can make my pitches in a highly stressed situation.
We talked about how he was supposed to start in Fort Myers, but Adam Warren got to start, and he was excellent.
He was great.
Strike 3. Joe, how about that pitch?
That's beautiful. I love it.
A single, a double, and then 3 straight strikeouts for David Phelps to get out of a jam here in the 5th. Joe, thanks for being with us.
Thanks, guys.
It's on to the bottom of the 5th here at Steinbrenner Field. On our Audi scoreboard is Mariano Rivera warms up in the Yankee bullpen. If he warms up, that means he's going to pitch, particularly here in spring training. Baltimore leading 3-1 as we go to the bottom of the 5th. It'll be the number 9 hitter for the Yankees leading off, Francisco Cervelli. The Cisco kid flew out to center field his first time. He'll be followed by the top of the order, Derek Jeter and Curtis Granderson for the Yankees here in the 5th against Jason Hamill. And Cervelli takes a curveball in there for a called strike. Those are the spring numbers for Cervelli. A high fly ball to center field for Adam Jones. He retreats a few steps, is there, and makes the catch for the out. Fans, tonight's game on Yes is brought to you in part by Cadillac. Visit CadillacTriState.com to find a dealer near you. By 5-Hour Energy, when you gotta get stuff done. And by the Really Big Sales Event. Real deals, big inventory. Now at your Honda dealer. That is Dale Mabry. That could be a very busy street around 5 o'clock. It is just beyond the right field wall. Here in Tampa, Derek Jeter takes a pitch, and that misses inside for a ball. Jeter's 0 for 2 tonight. Was grounded out and was called out on strikes. Hamill up to 69 pitches. And Jeter checks and takes one outside. Ball 2-0. Ken Singleton and David Cohn here tonight. We'll be back with you tomorrow night with the Philadelphia Phillies. We'll be here at Steinbrenner Field. Game time is 7:05. Jeter swings and fouls one straight back. Michael Pineda is scheduled to pitch for the Yankees against Michael Stutz. Not one of the Philly regulars, but he'll be on the mound for Philadelphia. A few of the youngsters enjoying the game. Jeter with a bouncer to the right side, off the glove of Davis, and the throw to first is in time for Hamill as the second baseman Flaherty backs up. So that play will go 3-4-1, and Jeter's retired.
Well, you can see, yeah, we talked about the hard ground down here in Florida, drought-stricken Florida, and Hamill's right where you got to be. That's not an easy play. You see, he breaks quickly. Jeter up the line, Hamill's there. The long throw from the second baseman.
He just got the bag, too.
You got to break right now if you're a pitcher. He does, and he's 6'6". Long strides, he's there in plenty of time.
2 up and 2 down for the Yankees, and Granderson takes a pitch for a strike. Curtis blooped the single in the left field his last time. He's also flied to left. Hamill's been impressive. Little chopper to the right side. This is going to twist foul. But I can remember spring training games, David, where a pitcher was pitching very well against us, and we would yell from the dugout, "We want you to make the team. We want you to be on the roster during opening day. So we'll see you during the regular season." We'll yell that out. Make sure you would hear it. 0-2 on Granderson. This one, little bouncer right back to the mound, and Hamill continues to pitch well. He's allowed just 1 run on 4 hits to the Yankees through 5 innings. It's on to the 6th. Baltimore leads. Well, a familiar face warming up in the bullpen, and now into the ball game for the Yankees. Mariano Rivera will come on and pitch the top of the 6th. Who needs a gate? Just step on over. And of course the fans here all amped up as Mariano comes into the ball game. The all-time saves leader, who's had himself an excellent spring as he's had in spring trainings before. He has not given up a run in spring training in his last 27 innings. And that goes back to March 15, 2008.
He could step right over Yankee Stadium center field wall right into Monument Park when he's done playing, too. Because they're dusting off the space. It's ready.
Mark Reynolds takes a pitch inside for ball one. Reynolds has reached on an error, also had a double and an RBI. He scored a run. Hitting at a .175 this spring. Swing and foul tips it in the glove of Cervelli for a strike.
You know, we talked about earlier about Buck Showalter and Andy Pettitte back in 1995 and watching this pudgy kid throw on the side. Well, you get the feeling that maybe if that guy right there would have put that guy in the mound in that 95 Game 5 a little sooner, he might still be managing the Yankees.
Pitch is popped in the air to right field. Going back is the second baseman Nunez. He's there and makes the catch. Is that your thoughts?
You know, we didn't really know what we had with Mariano Rivera. Actually, you know, in that Game 5 in 95 in Seattle, Mariano Rivera did relieve me. He came in after I had walked in the tying run. It was 4-4, and he struck out Jay Buhner on 3 straight pitches. And then Buck Showalter put in Jack McDowell the next inning. Now, you know, if Buck Showalter would have known or maybe had a little more confidence in the young pitcher, maybe he got Mariano Rivera in that game a little earlier when he had the lead, we might have won that series.
Ball is hit on the ground to the right side by Nunez and into right field for a hit. Davis has a single. He's on with 1 out. So what inning of that game did you come out?
The 8th inning.
The 8th inning.
It was the 8th inning. We had a 4-2 lead in the 8th inning. I gave up a home run to Ken Griffey Jr. and made it 4-3.
You weren't the only one in those days.
Well, he could do it, and but we still had the lead, and I got 2 more outs, and then walked a couple guys, walked the bases loaded, and ended up walking in a run on my 147th pitch.
How many?
147th pitch was ball 4.
That doesn't happen in this day. You would have been out of the game.
Different time, 1995.
Here's Andino, takes a pitch inside for a ball. 147.
Mariano Rivera was in that bullpen in that series and did pitch in that series and did relieve me in that game. And as I said, struck out Jay Buhner on 3 straight pitches. And little did we know what we had down there in 1995. Mo Rivera was there. Buck Showalter was the manager.
Bouncing ball. Alex Rodriguez has it. Goes to second for the force. The relay to first. Not in time. Andino beats the relay. And he's going to be safe at first on the fielder's choice. Mariano is walking off the field. So the force goes 5-4 on Davis. We talked about Mick Kelleher saying about the footwork of Nunez is vastly improved at second base on the double play. Not to say he's a Robinson Cano, but not many are. But he's certainly a valuable asset to back up Cano at second. Here's Ryan Flaherty. And Cervelli pointing out to Mariano step off because it looked like Andino was ready to take off for second base. He made his move too soon. Flaherty at the plate, a former first-round pick of the Chicago Cubs back in 2008. Andino's not going, and the pitch is off the glove of Cervelli. Andino breaks late. The throw to second is offline, and Andino's going to be in there safely. We'll see how they score that, as Andino does make his way to second base.
Well, you'll see Rivera change his delivery, almost a little slide step, and it affects his pitch to home plate too as well. And Andino not going, but he is now.
Well, he finds himself in scoring position with 2 outs. And a 1-0 count to Flaherty. Inside, ball 2. Flaherty put some numbers up in Double and Triple A last year in the Cubs system. He ended up with 19 home runs. And for a guy who can play just about anywhere in the utility role, the Orioles picked him in the Rule 5 draft. As he steps out on Mariano.
I think that Rule 5 draft's more important now than ever before because the scouting, and now we're in the information age, and it's hard to hide players anymore. But every organization can protect 40 players.
Yeah.
And after 3 years in the minor league, you are exposed to this Rule 5 draft. And it's for competitive balance. It's for the minor league players too as well, so you don't get buried. Say if you're a shortstop in the Yankees organization and you've been in the minor leagues for 3, 4, 5 years and you're not on the 40-man roster, you can't get buried behind a Hall of Fame player. You have the chance to get drafted by another team.
3-0 pitch is in there for a strike. Now, what the Orioles did, they paid the Cubs $50,000 to get Flaherty onto their 40-man roster. But the caveat is they have to keep him all season long on the roster or offer him back to the Cubs and get half of their money back. This ball is hitting the air to right field. Andruw Jones is there. Mariano's scoreless streak will continue. It's now up to 28 innings going back to 2008 here in spring training. Bottom of the 6th, Yankees trailing by 2 runs. Alex Rodriguez is going to lead it off. He'll be followed by Teixeira, and Ibanez here in the 6th inning against Jason Hamill, who's still in there for the Baltimore Orioles. You know, we've been talking about spring training, David, but the regular season has actually begun. The A's and the Mariners played a 2-game series over in Japan, in Tokyo, and they split the 2 games. The Mariners winning the first game, and the A's coming back to win the second game. Pitch to A-Rod's outside for a ball. I think back to 2004 when the Yankees went over there with the Rays and started the regular season. How about Ichiro, the first night? 4 for 5. Welcome home. And you can remember Matsui when he went over there with the Yankees, and he was a big hero, of course, and hit some home runs.
Well, it's hard on the teams, great for the overall game. Obviously, Major League Baseball trying to expand globally, and it's a great, wonderful idea, but really hard on those teams. And a long way to go not to win a game. So they both split. So, you know, all things being equal, no harm, no foul.
Well, both those teams will come back to the States and play some more spring training games, and then restart their regular season with a 1-1 record. Pitch is fouled back, and you know, right now the Angels and Texas Rangers are looking up to both of those teams. At least for now.
Ichiro's going to lead the league in hits with that kind of lead already.
2-2 count on Alex Rodriguez. A-Rod is singled and flied to center field. 1 for 2. That was just off the corner. The count is run full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. So far, I like what I've seen of Hamill. I'm sure Buck Showalter's been thrilled. Big right-hander, just a run on 4 hits.
A lot of strikes, pitches off his fastball.
Swing and a miss, strike 3, and he's getting it up there in the mid-90s. That is his 5th strikeout without a walk in tonight's game.
We can hear the pop of the mitt. You know, 3-2, here it is, hit it, a little bit up and in, right on by. I mean, you know it's coming. It's a 3-2 fastball in a good spot.
You know, 3-2 leading off an inning. You're down by 2 runs. You know, a fastball is definitely on my mind. Here is Mark Teixeira swings at the first pitch, fouls it off. Teixeira tonight has struck out and tried to get a bloop single in the center field. It was run down by the shortstop, Robert Andino. Orioles employed a shift with Teixeira at the plate. Third baseman Reynolds over there at the shortstop position. Pitches high and away. Count levels and a ball and a strike. Yankees down by 2 to the Baltimore Orioles here in the bottom of the 6th. Outside again. Little chopper, and that one's foul. Yankees, of course, open their season a week from tomorrow. 3:10 start over at Tropicana Field. They'll take on the Tampa Bay Rays.
You could book Sabathia will be on the mound, and
James Shields.
Big game Shields. Complete game Shields.
High, ball 3. Count is now full. Second straight hitter with a full count as Teixeira's up there. The Orioles, they open at home against the Minnesota Twins, and after the Twins leave town, the Yankees come to Baltimore. Here's the payoff pitch to Teixeira, and he chops it foul off of his foot, then on back to Hamill. Count will remain full at 3-2.
Well, I definitely think the Orioles will be improved this year. Hamill looks good to me. I think he's a good acquisition. Buck Showalter, an excellent manager. They score runs. They have power.
Yeah.
They were, 7th in the American League in runs scored last year, and they had some guys who hit some home runs for them, including Mark Reynolds, who was at the top. And if they get improvement in pitching, get some more quality starts, they will win a lot more games than they did last year.
Once again, the payoff pitch, and Teixeira hits this one well to the gap in right center field. No shift is going to stop this one. Teixeira takes a turn around first. He's headed for second. The throw is not in time. He is in with a hustling double. He's at second with 1 down here in the 6th. Teixeira has made a steady climb in his hitting this spring.
You can see him really with excellent plate coverage and full extension. You watch him reach out and get this fastball away, reaching, covering the outside corner, and galloping in for a double.
And that will be the last pitch that Jason Hamill will throw in this game as Teixeira has knocked him out. So we got a pitching change here at Steinbrenner Field. We'll be right back with more. Buck Showalter's going to the bullpen for a left-hander. It's Troy Patton. And he's facing the left-handed batting Raul Ibanez, who has homered and struck out here tonight. Pinch runner at second is Jose Gil. Pinch running for Mark Teixeira, who doubled and is now out of the ball game. Yankees down by a couple. Patton is that's what he did last year with the Orioles. Pretty good job out of the bullpen with 22 strikeouts, only 5 walks. His pitch is lined to right field for a base hit. Gil is being waved home, and he is going to score. Well, Ibanez with his second RBI of the night, a solid single to right field, and it's now a 3-2 ball game. He is beginning to heat up.
Well, he's the story of the night for the Yankees, and look at him turn on it. That's what the Yankees want to see. Do some damage. If you make a mistake on the inner half of the plate, get it out of here. Twice tonight. Excellent swings. One launched home run. Solid RBI line drive right there, and he's got to feel really good about it. You can almost see the expression on his face.
Ibanez gives way to a pinch runner. That pitch to Andrew Jones misses for a ball. Looks like, yeah, that's Dwayne Wise over at first. So Wise should be staying in the ball game as an outfielder, taking over Ibanez, who was in left field tonight. Andrew Jones, who does a lot of damage against left-handed pitching, facing a lefty here and gets ahead on the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Yankees trailing 3-2. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Bouncing ball slowly hit towards third. Reynolds throws a second for 1, and Flaherty has no relay to first base. Wise puts some pressure on him down at second. So Andrew Jones is now at first with 2 down. David, we talked about getting down to the latter stages of spring training before these ball clubs here in Florida and in Arizona head north and to begin the regular season. I'm just wondering if we can take this weather with us. It's been spectacular during the course of spring training this year. And it looks like there's a pinch runner at first. Is that Chris Dickerson? He takes over for Andrew Jones. Brett Gardner's up. Grounded to third and singled. 1 for 2. Patton deals, and it's outside for a ball. So Dickerson running for Jones at first base. Dickerson has speed. I don't know if he'll take off against the lefty. Maybe after seeing a few moves to the plate. Patton deals, misses again, and it's 2 balls and no strikes to Brett Gardner. Not going, and the pitch is a strike. 2-1. You know, spring training means different things to different players. When you're a youngster trying to make a club or certainly trying to make an impression, there are a lot of nerves involved. When you're a veteran and you know you're going to be on the team, just working your way into opening day shape. I'll tell you what, the second is certainly more relaxing. Check swing, goes around too far, and it's 2-2.
Well, that is interesting. I mean, the youngest player in Yankees camp this year is Cesar Cabral. He's 23 years old in 8 days. And the oldest player, of course, Mariano Rivera, 42 years old in 82 days. So a little under 20-year span between the youngest and oldest, and we know one's definitely on the team. And that 23-year-old's making a run too. So
knocking on the door, isn't it? Bit impressive. That's what it's all about. You try and make it a difficult decision for the team to send you out. 2-2 pitch is outside. 3-2. Dickerson will be on the move on a 3-2 pitch with 2 outs. I mentioned earlier in the game that 1 year I was the last guy cut. They say the first cut is the deepest. I think the last cut was the deepest. That really hurt. .3-2 pitch on the way, and it's fouled off. And I'll tell you a story, Tony. I got cut.
What did Earl say to you?
No, it wasn't Earl. That was with the Mets in those days when I first came up. So I get cut. And I'm sitting there, I'm packing up my bag. I got to head over to minor league camp. And Tom Seaver, now Hall of Fame pitcher, wasn't at the time, but he was on his way. He came over my locker, he put his arm around me and said, "Kid, you go down AAA, have a good year, and you'll be back in the big leagues before you know it." And by June, late June, I was back in the big leagues. He was right. And he didn't have to do that. I mean, he was a star pitcher already. But that meant a lot to me, that Tom Seaver would take the time just to pat me on the back and say, "Get off to a good start."
Never forgot it, right?
No, to this day. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Once again, the payoff pitch to Gardner, and he hits it in the end of center field for Adam Jones. And Jones makes the catch of the lazy fly ball. The Yankees do pick up a run here in the 6th. They've cut the Orioles' lead to 1. It's a 3-2 game. Fans, follow the New York Yankees with MLB.com at Bat 12 for your iPhone, iPad, Android, WP7, or BlackBerry. Get spring training scores, stats, highlights, live audio, and more. Text at Bat to 31826 or visit Yankees.com for details. It's a great way to go. Andy Pettitte has joined Joe Girardi. Tell you what, another good battery right there in Yankee history. Pettitte and Girardi. 3-2, the Orioles lead, top of the 7th inning. New pitcher for the Yankees is Boone Logan, and he will face the top of the order for the Orioles. Nolan Reinhold's had himself a good night. 2 for 3, a couple of singles. Swings at the first pitch. It's a high fly ball to right field. Chris Dickerson has it. 1 pitch and 1 out here in the 7th. We know that Boone Logan's going to be in the bullpen. He's the lefty, but there might be company for him from the left-handed side. Very busy last year for the Yankees. 64 games, good record. 46 strikeouts in 41 2/3 innings. Dwayne Wise is now in left field. You saw Chris Dickerson in right, and the first baseman is Jose Gil. Here's Nick Johnson, who's had a double, grounded into a double play and flied out to left, working on a 1 for 3 night. That one blistered over the inside corner for a called strike. Dave, if you had to do it all over again, would you come back left-handed?
Oh, I wish, definitely. I mean, it's such a commodity. If you're a lefty, there's just not enough of you out there. Supply and demand.
All right, inside, 1-1. I think back to Jim Cott. Pitched for 25 years, both in the starting and relieving role, and then became a specialist towards the end of his career. But 25 years in the big leagues. One and one, the count on Nick Johnson. This ball's hit well to right field. Going back is Dickerson to the warning track near the wall, leaps, and he makes the catch. The ball, the wall, and Dickerson arrived at the same time, and Dickerson holds on to make a spectacular catch in right field.
Good swing by Nick Johnson. Turns on that fastball. Dickerson up on the wall and kind of just, you know, now you see that he caught it. But a nice little deke by him, not to let us know. Just kind of, you know, here's the catch up on the wall. Now, from up here, we weren't sure. And he just kind of hangs and plays it off a little bit. Maybe I got it, maybe I don't. Yes, there it is.
So we're going to have a pitching change. Boone Logan gets 2 outs. New pitching coming in game for the Yankees. DJ Mitchell comes out of the Yankee bullpen. This is kind of an unusual move, David, because the left-hander was in there to face Markakis, and Joe Girardi must want to see Mitchell against a good left-handed hitter in Markakis, who tonight is 0 for 3. Those are his numbers last year at AAA Scranton Wilkes-Barre. 13 wins. And he's going to get the final out here in the top of the 7th inning. Lazy fly ball for Brett Gardner. So Markakis is retired. The Orioles go in order. Time for the 7th inning stretch here at Steinbrenner Field. We'll be right back. schedule. We'll be back here tomorrow night on Yes, 7:05. The Philadelphia Phillies come across the Causeway, take on the Yankees here at Steinbrenner Field. Then the Yankees on the road against Houston. Then they go for their extended road trip down to Miami to play the Marlins in a couple of games in their new stadium. Then they take on the Mets on the 3rd of April. They'll be over in Port St. Lucie. That game will be on Yes. They come right back over here to Tampa. Play the Mets again. 12:05 start on Yes. That'll be on the 4th. Right now we're going to send it down just outside of the Yankee clubhouse, and Jack Curry is standing by with Raul Ibanez.
Thanks very much, Kenny. Now, Raul, about a week ago in Fort Myers, I asked Kevin Long about you, and he said, I've watched his workouts, I've watched his swing. Things are coming together. Since then, 2 homers. You're robbed of another homer. What were those things that he was talking about? What has come togetger?
We've been working hard in the cage, and nobody works harder than Kevin. So we've been working on, timing and keeping the swing together and compact and doing a lot of work. Like I said, nobody works harder than him, and I'm very thankful to him.
You came into tonight 4 hits for the entire spring, but then tonight the homer, you have a run-scoring single. How much better are you feeling at the plate?
Yeah, definitely feeling better at the plate. The last 4 or 5 days, I had a minor league game, too, where I had a bunch of at-bats, and I was feeling better there, and it's definitely coming along at the right time, and, keep working and keep plugging away and see what happens.
As accomplished as you have been in your career, is it still difficult? When the spring training numbers, everyone says they don't matter, but they're your numbers, and you have to deal with them. Is it difficult to not look at the statistics and say, I just got to get my swing right?
Well, it's less difficult because they don't put it on the scoreboard everywhere you play. So that part is less difficult. But, as a professional, you always want to do well. And I don't care where you are. If you're playing in a slow-pitch softball game, you want to hit the ball hard. You want to get, drive-in runs and do your job. So when that's not coming, it's frustrating. But at the same time, you got to keep the faith in your ability and keep fighting.
And then last question, you fielded this when you first got here, but you just talked about being a Yankee and how in 2009 with the Phillies you weren't able to beat the Yankees. Now you wanted to help the Yankees win a title. Could you talk about that for a little bit?
Sure. It's a great group of guys. When you're on the other side, you look over here, and of course there's a nostalgia and all the greatness that comes with the Yankee organization. But when you're on the other side, you're trying to beat them, and you may not be as fond of them. But obviously coming over here, everything is first class to the max. The organization's treated my family extremely well, and the clubhouse is extraordinary. It's a great group of guys. So to be around all the legends, Reggie Jackson, getting advice from Reggie Jackson and seeing Goose Gossage and those guys, it's great. It makes you feel like a kid again, and it's really an amazing thing, and it's a very proud moment, as a professional and as a player, and it's a great honor to wear this uniform, and then again, you have to do your job, and the ultimate goal here is to win a World Series and a World Championship, and that's what we're here for.
He did his job tonight, Kenny. 2 hits for Raul Ibanez. I'm going to send it back to you.
Thank you very much, Jack. Thank you, Raul. Raul was born in Manhattan but grew up in Miami. And you think about it, a lot of New Yorkers, they start in New York but end up in Miami. Eduardo Nunez had a single, stole second base, and gives way to Francisco Cervelli. So Nunez at second with nobody out, representing the tying run. Nunez continues his good hitting. And Cervelli is flied out twice, both times in center field. We have a new center fielder in the game for the Baltimore Orioles. It's Xavier Avery in center. Takes over for Andrew Jones. There's Avery in center. Orioles had some other changes. We'll catch you up in just a second. Swing and a miss. There's a new pitcher in the ball game. Claimed on waivers from the Texas Rangers. That's Darren O'Day. And that's what he did last year with the Texas Rangers. 18 strikeouts in 16 2/3 innings. High and away. And other changes for Baltimore. There's a new catcher in the ball game. That is Caleb Joseph. Takes over for Matt Wieters. A couple other changes. We'll catch you up in just a second. 2-2 pitch on the way, and it's way outside, ball 3. A new left fielder for the Orioles is L.J. Hose. H-O-E-S, Hose. And then other change is at shortstop. It's Manny Machado. And he is the Orioles' top prospect. 3-2 pitch on the way, and it's way outside, goes back to the screen. Nunez will scamper over the third on the wild pitch, and the wild pitch also is a walk for Francisco Cervelli. So the Yankees are in business. They're in the bottom of the 7th inning.
You can see setting up inside, and he just holds on to it a little too long. Sometimes those sidewinders, you just kind of get your arm out in front of your body. You can yank across and crossfire the pitch. And catcher's looking for it in. The ball ends up way off the plate.
That started in Laredo, ended up in Nuevo Laredo. I think that's the town right across the border from Laredo. Here's Derek Jeter looking for his first hit of the night. 0 for 3. First and third, nobody out. Yankees down by a run here in the 7th. Little chopper towards third. Reynolds throws on the first for the out. On the play, Nunez got a great jump at third and scored. And it's now a 3-3 game. So give Jeter a run batted in, as he is thrown out by the third baseman. Pinch runner at first base for Cervelli. It looks to be Jason Maxwell, I believe. So there is Nunez scoring. Remember, he had some issues with a hand earlier this spring. But his game is now tied at 3 with Granderson coming to the plate, the runner at second. Yeah, that is Justin Maxwell at second. And the first pitch at Granderson is in there for a call strike. So Nunez scores the tying run. Appears to be okay. Maxwell running for Cervelli is at second base. High fly ball. Short left center field. Coming on is Avery, the center fielder. Camps underneath it, makes the catch for the out. There are now 2 down. So Maxwell at second, but 2 outs. Eric Chavez will come to the plate. A-Rod, while he was in there, was 1 for 3.
Darren O'Day had a couple of really big years with Texas. He was on the DL last year, and just that quickly, he was put on waivers, and the Orioles are taking a shot.
One of the reasons he might have been put on waivers because the Rangers actually dealt for Koji Uehara, got him from the Orioles for Chris Davis.
Yeah, O'Day had a 6-2 record and a 2.03 ERA in 2010 with the Rangers. 72 games.
How quickly they forget, huh? Good swing and foul back by Chavez.
Yeah, he was one of their best relievers in 2010 and really 2009. But you know what? When you're a sidewinder, you don't get that respect. You don't blow it up there at 95 miles an hour, and you kind of throw low 80s and sinker, slider, and if you get a little injury there and you get hit around, boy, they give up on you in a hurry.
That pitch is a little bit low, and it's 1-2. Chavez had a big day yesterday over in against the Braves. Lake Buena Vista. I think he drove in 4 runs yesterday. For the Yankee 5 runs in the 5-5 tie. There's a pitch low again, and the count levels off at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yankees have scored here in the 7th. In a 3-3 game. another good swing by Chavez and fouls it back. You can see his reaction. Should have hit that. The sidewinders from the opposite side give those hitters a long look at the pitches.
Fouled straight back.
Yep. And you're wondering, will he throw me another one just like the last one? Let's check it out. No, not that one. That is full, 3-2. Can you get lucky and one at bat, get two pitches right down the middle? Payoff pitch is on the way. Now, sometimes those good swings and foul backs will scare the pitcher off the strike zone, and Chavez draws a walk. Second walk handed out by O'Day. Fans, this copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Any accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Pitching coach Rick Adair. He saw the two walks. He's going out to talk to O'Day. Jose Gill will come to the plate for his first at bat. He ran for Mark Teixeira last inning after Teixeira hit double to the gap in right center. Managers don't seem to like base on balls. Right away, the pitching coach into the mound. Two on and two outs in a 3-3 game. Gill to the plate. And there's a strike.
Yeah, one of our new colleagues, Lou Piniella, was one of those types of managers. Boy. He wasn't afraid to let you know.
Oh, man.
Pitchers weren't throwing strikes. Just the way he walked out to the mound to get the ball and make a pitching change, you knew he was upset.
The slow walk?
Yeah. The quick point to the bullpen.
1 ball and 1 strike on Gill.
You know, those old school managers too. They don't want to talk. There's no chit chatting going on when they come to get you out of the game.
Just give me the ball.
Give me the ball and get out of here. Don't stand here. I got nothing to say to you.
One pitch is hit on the ground, foul. I can recall a night in Milwaukee. And of course, I played for the Hall of Fame manager Earl Weaver. He sent Ray Miller, the pitching coach, out to the mound to talk to Dennis Martinez. And he said, you tell him exactly this. If he doesn't get this next guy out, he's going to Rochester in the morning. Talk about some pressure. Rochester was a AAA farm club of the Orioles in those days. 1-2 pitches foul back. Dennis not only got the guy out, he stayed in there and won the game. So Earl's walking around in the clubhouse after the game with a big smile on his face saying that it worked. It worked.
Psychiatrist.
Oh, yeah. I guess that's part of being a manager. 2 on and 2 outs. Check swing, and he goes around too far. Gill has struck out. The Yankees will leave 2 men on, but they do score a run here in the 7th. It's on to the 8th. Rochester is a nice town, by the way. I've been there. It's just a week away from opening day, and the Yankees continue to tune up for their regular season battle as they play the Philadelphia Phillies here at Steinbrenner Field. Coverage starts at 7 when David and I are back for all the action. It's right here on Yes. Phillies in at Steinbrenner Field tomorrow night. Xavier Avery is going to lead it off for the Orioles here in the 8th inning against DJ Mitchell, who got the final out of the 7th. Eric Chavez is at third. Doug Bernier is at short. Gustavo Molina is catching. The Yankees also have a new second baseman. It's Bill Hall who takes over for Nunez. There's Bill Hall, the veteran. Avery came on to play center field in place of Adam Jones. Good changeup, swung on and missed. The Yankees really like DJ Mitchell out of Clemson University. That's what Avery did last year in the minors. Curveball misses inside, and the count has gone full.
Well, as Jack Curry told us before, broke the scoop, that DJ Mitchell might find himself with a chance to make this team in the bullpen. That's why he's in this game right now. He's going to get a chance to pitch in relief after being a starter his whole minor league career, and even at Clemson as well. And all of a sudden, he might find himself, in the Yankees bullpen in the Bronx.
There is ball 4 as he walks Avery, leading off the 8th in a 3-3 ball game. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Manny Machado. Born in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and now resides in Rural Hall, North Carolina, which is just outside of Winston-Salem. Attended Clemson University. Drafted by the Yankees in the 10th round in 2008. And last year he was the Yankees minor league pitcher of the year with 13 wins in the minors. Pitches over the outside corner to Machado for a call strike. The Orioles feel that Machado has a chance to be the next Alex Rodriguez. I hate for them to do that.
Yeah. Don't put the label on him. We know he's very talented. Probably the Orioles' top prospect.
Yeah, he is.
Baseball America's 11th best prospect in all of baseball.
He certainly has the same build that the young Alex Rodriguez had. That pitches over the outside corner again. 2 strikes. Just 19 years old. Alex was in the big leagues at 19. And got a few more years to go before Machado becomes a major leaguer. But right now he's played a lot of spring training games this year with the big glove. There's a throw over the first. Avery's back.
Well, that shows you what they think of him, because generally speaking, a 19-year-old would be down in the minor leagues in minor league camp playing, getting at bats. And he's still here in the big leagues, and that shows you how far along he is.
Pitches hit on the ground. Chavez has it. Goes to Hall for 1. That's all they're going to get. Forced play at second. Yankees erase the lead runner as Machado safe on the fielder's choice. Nice play by Chavez at third, flashing that former Gold Glove style that he had with the Oakland A's.
Well, he can do it. And ranging left, up quick, gets the force at second.
From one third baseman to another at the plate, Mark Reynolds. Reynolds has a double, an RBI, and a run scored in this game. Curveball is chopped foul. Reynolds came to spring training in better shape and lost about 20 pounds. And he feels it's going to help him defensively at third, move around a little bit better at the hot corner. Last year he made 26 errors at third base. Eventually he was moved over to first where he made 5 more. And he led the league with 31 errors a year ago. But he also hit 37 home runs. So he give it, then take it away. To throw to first, and Machado just got back. He was leaning. Mitchell showing a good pickoff move.
Very quick feet. Yeah, you're right. Reynolds, that's not the 30-30 club you want to be in.
Mitchell with an 0-1 pitch on the way to Mark Reynolds, and he hits it foul once again. Maybe not. It's a fair ball. Chavez has it, throws the first on the play. Machado moves into scoring position at second. Mitchell, in his minor league career with the Yankees, and he hasn't been in the minors very long, as you said, David, a starting pitcher, 38-20 in the minors, including 13 wins last year. And as I said, that led all Yankee minor leaguers in victories.
Well, you know, the Yankees have, you know, so many good young arms that are, you know, sort of bottlenecked in AAA and AA. And, you know, they like Mitchell because of that heavy sinker. He keeps the ball on the ground. Seeing a good changeup. He really knows how to pitch it, mix it up. But he's really, you know, not necessarily a mid-90s, you know, power guy. But you see here, this is the curveball.
Good
right
one.
out in front, a good one. He can pull the string, but his natural two-seam sinker really is heavy and down. That translates well into the bullpen in terms of variance and style. The Yankees could use somebody that can pound the ground balls in their bullpen. You know, all of a sudden, you know, you look at this kid, you get more and more impressed with him, and boom, he's going to find himself in the middle of a chance to make this team. Good changeup right there as well. I mean, he's got the complete repertoire. But it's down. He works the strike zone down. Everything he throws stays down. Good changeup. When he misses, it's down. Perfect location. His sinker is heavy.
So you're saying he's got starter stuff, but could work out of the bullpen with maybe 4 pitches.
He could easily work out of the bullpen, and in Yankee Stadium, you like those guys that can get the ball down. Could translate very well. You know, you don't have to worry about righty or lefty matchup with a kid like this. He can get lefties out.
Well, he's got Chris Davis up there now with a runner on second in a 3-3 game and 2 outs here at the top of the 8th inning. Davis has a hit in 3 trips. Tried to paint the inside corner with the heat and missed. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Chris Davis.
I mean, you just don't make this kind of move with your organizational pitcher of the year who's a starter, and then all of a sudden with 2 weeks to go in spring training or 10 days or whatever it is, let's try him as a reliever.
Swing and a miss, strike 3 on a changeup. He got him. A lot of off-speed stuff to Chris Davis. Davis is a strikeout victim. The Orioles leave a runner at second. It's on to the bottom of the 8th in a 3-3 game here in Tampa. Time for the game summary presented by Lincoln. And we'll check it out. 3-3 game as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Raul Ibanez, a good night, 2 for 3 with a home run. Driven in 2 of the 3 Yankee runs. Matt Wieters, 2 for 3 with a double, a triple, and 2 runs scored for Baltimore. And Mark Teixeira, 1 for 3 with a double. Right now we're going down to the Yankee clubhouse, or near it. And Jack Curry standing by with tonight's starting pitcher for the Yankees, David Phillips.
Thanks very much, Kenny. Now, David, let's start where it ended for you. You got a couple of guys on base, and you end up striking out Markakis, Jones, and Wieters, the heart of the Orioles order. What was your approach there?
I was just trying to make good pitches. At first, I was trying to get some soft contact, maybe an infield pop-up, but, you know, you get the first strikeout, and then you kind of think the same thing with the second one. And, you know, Wieters was giving me trouble all night. I thought I was making some pretty good pitches to him. He was getting a lot of bat on him, so felt really good there at the end.
Well, Wieters is 10 for his last 12, so he's been giving a lot of guys trouble. But when you do that and you're a guy who hasn't made it to the major leagues yet, that inning, you take that away with you when you're at AAA or whatever and say, I showed myself that I can do it at the major league level. What kind of a confidence boost is that?
Oh, I mean, it's a huge confidence boost. I mean, 3, 4, 5 in their lineup. And, I mean, if I can do that against these guys, I should be able to do it against most of the AAA lineups out there. So I just take away from it that, you know, I went out there and gave my best stuff, and hopefully it carries over.
You had a really nice spring. Joe Girardi talked about you pre-game, how impressed he was with you and Warren and DJ Mitchell. You're trying to squeeze into a team that already has a lot of starters. You're laughing as I ask you that question because you know a lot of guys trying to get noticed. Mm-hmm. How do you get noticed when there's already so many guys ahead of you for those slots?
The biggest thing is just going out there and doing what you're capable of. You can't get caught up in trying to outperform the person in front of you or anything like that, because then you're just going to dig yourself in a hole. If we just go out there and do what we're capable of, hopefully it opens some eyes and good things will hopefully happen.
And I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you, a week ago you were supposed to start against the Red Sox, but you had something more important that occurred that day. Your wife Maria gave birth to a baby girl. What is life like as a new dad?
We're 1 week in. It's great. She sleeps through the night. She's an angel. It's awesome.
That's terrific. That's all anybody wants to hear about a new child being born. Kenny, back to you.
Thank you very much, Jack, and congratulations to Maria and David. To have your child sleep through the night in the first week, she is an angel.
I am not buying that. That's just not happening.
Well, you're a new dad too, right, David?
I am. But that's just not happening.
Over at first is Dwayne Wise, who drew a walk against the new pitcher for the Orioles, and that is Pedro Strop. Dickerson's at the plate, and he's getting his first at bat of the night. It's a 3-3 game. Yankees have a runner on, nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Good stop by Caleb Joseph. The throw down to second is in time. Wise is thrown out. Heck of a play by Caleb Joseph, the catcher.
This is as good as it gets. Tough block, amazing block. Not only does he didn't even block it, he picked it and came up and threw a bullet. Impossible degree of difficulty on this play, off the charts.
So now nobody on him, 1 out, and the count 1-2 to Chris Dickerson. Heck of a play by Caleb Joseph. So Strop gets bailed out a bit by his catcher. Ground ball towards short. Machado shows off a strong throwing arm, and there's 2 down. That's a 19-year-old arm, Dave. That's the way yours felt at 19.
Clean. Let's show it off a little bit. And a whip.
2 down, and Bill Hall will come to the plate. Hall, the veteran, his first at bat. Bouncing ball towards the middle, and by a diving Machado and into center field for a base hit. A 2-out single for Bill Hall to keep the inning going here in the 8th. And we'll bring up the catcher, Gustavo Molina. Machado showing some pretty good range. I guess if he didn't have, he wouldn't be a #1 draft pick. Strop with Texas and Baltimore. Worked to a 2.05. Did not give up a home run. That pitch is in there for a strike to Molina. You know, you see a pitcher with his hat a little off. I wonder if it's meant to throw off the hitters.
It's usually a left-handed, pitcher kind of a style.
This CC. Ooh, broken bat. Molina's going to need a new piece of lumber. I noticed Pineda, his hat is a little crooked as well. King Felix, he goes that route as well.
Well, almost looks like he's looking in the dugout instead of the home plate. It's a little disconcerting.
If I'm a hitter, you see a pitcher, how can you trust the guy who's got his hat on crooked to throw the ball where he wants to?
You looking at me? No.
So Molina has a new bat to work with, but he's down in the count to Pedro Strop. No balls and 2 strikes. Jumps back out of the way, and it goes to 1-2. Strop should be a figure in the Orioles bullpen stream of things this year. They like his arm. This ball's hit in the air to center field for Avery. He's got it. That's it for the Yankees in the 8th. We're going to move to the top of the 9th inning in a 3-3 game in Tampa, Florida. Now tomorrow night, the Nets kick off the first game of a 4-game West Coast swing when they take on the Golden State Warriors. Coverage starts at 10 for the Nets pregame. The Nine Eagle and Mike Fratello have the call. That's only on Yes. DJ Mitchell still in there for the Yankees, and he'll face LJ Hose in a battle of initials here. DJ gets off to the good start against LJ. Strike one call. Sinker moves him off the plate. It's a ball and a strike. Baltimore 3, the Yankees 3 in the top half of the 9th inning. I like the way that pitch that moved him off the plate set up the outside corner for a call strike, and it's 1-2. Curveball, little chopper, going to be a tough play for Chavez. On the run, throws, and not in time. Holmes beats it out.
Not so sure.
Me neither.
Chavez, one of the best ever to make this play. Boy, that's bang, bang. Yeah.
Wayne Kirby is kind of in the way. Couldn't see if the foot had actually. Maybe we'll see it from this angle. Yeah, maybe he was safe. Yeah, Hose beat it. So Hose at first. Steve Tollison, second baseman, hits a ground ball to third. Chavez looks towards second. Nah, it's a foul ball off his foot. Tollison's still up there. Tollison took over for Flaherty.
See, this is why the Yankees love DJ Mitchell so much. That heavy sinker. Throw it down and into right-handed batters. You're going to get a lot of shin bones and foot bones pounded down on. And
is that just from his delivery or the way he puts pressure on the ball, or he's probably been throwing it for a long time?
Yeah, it seems natural to me. It's not forced at all. It's just a good, heavy, natural sinking fastball. And Yankees players who have faced him in batting practice early in the spring, and the coaches have all talked about the type of rotation he gets on that two-seam fastball. Maybe the best sinker in camp.
Long and lean. He's got the build of an oil can Boyd.
Very confident on the mound too. Good presence. We talked about his repertoire. He's got all the pitches.
Swing and a miss. Strike three on Tollison. So one on with one out here in the top of the ninth.
Impressive changeup, righty to righty, a changeup, throw it down and in, off of that sinker, perfect location, right over the heart of the plate. The kid's got an idea of what he's doing. The Yankees love him, looking for a way to maybe get him on this team.
Now back to the top of the order. And the first pitch misses for a ball. Caleb Joseph, the catcher. He is batting in the leadoff spot now. Place of Raimo had 2 for 4 night. Throw to first quickly. Hose is back. This is a good time for having a runner on the move, trying to pick up 90 feet, get in the scoring position.
It's another very athletic move from DJ Mitchell. Another plus. You know, if you're going to be a reliever, you know, in the big leagues, you'd be able to hold runners on. Quick to home plate, slide step, quick feet to first base and a move.
Ball strike.
Little things really add up.
Yeah, that Clemson education. Clemson's always had a pretty good baseball team. That's high for a ball. 2 balls and a strike.
Jimmy Key.
Jimmy Key. Billy Koch. Chris Benson.
I'll take Jimmy Key.
You know, I would too. Look out. Joseph is hit by a pitch. So 2 on and 1 out now, and Mitchell finds himself in a jam here in the top half of the 9th inning.
You know, overthrew a changeup right there. First pitch he's overthrown.
And now getting it bad is the former Met, Ronnie Paulino.
You see, it kind of slips out of his hand.
Paulino has a chance to be the backup catcher with the Orioles. They had acquired Taylor Teagarden, but he's come up with back problems. So the Orioles are in the market for a backup catcher. Polino might be the answer. Pitches outside for a ball.
Well, that is truly a backup catcher on the Orioles with Wieters.
He's going to do most of the catching. Bouncing ball towards the middle. Hall off of his glove. The ball continues into center field for a hit. Holmes is rounding third. He'll score. The throw to third is not in time. Polino's going to move up to second on the throw to third. So Baltimore takes the lead 4-3 on a single by Ronnie Paulino.
And Mitchell gets the ball down. Sinker. And you see what Joe Girardi's talked about, and we mentioned earlier, the hard infield here in Florida. In front of home plate first, the big hop. And then once it hits the dirt again, just eats up Bill Hall. See that all around Florida in spring training here. The ground is so hard.
With Buck Britton coming to the plate, Joe Girardi's going to walk him to load the bases with one out and go for the double play. There's ball 3. One more is going to complete the intentional base on balls. That'll bring up Xavier Avery with the bases loaded and one out for Baltimore in the top of the ninth. Avery could be difficult to double up. I mean, it looks as though you put him in center field in place of Adam Jones. He must have some speed. And plus the fact he's a left-handed hitter. Gives him an extra step towards first base. Drew a walk his first time.
So the Yankees are going to play in at the corners and double play depth up the middle.
Yeah, these infields kind of remind me of infield in Texas, which gets really baked during the course of the year. Same thing in Anaheim.
Those big hops on those ground balls pounded down hard off the barrel of the bat in front of home plate. Really jump.
Now the infield completely in, and the pitch is outside for ball 1. Yankees bring Bernier in at short and Bill Hall at second. DJ Mitchell in a jam here. Bases loaded. The Orioles have a run in.
Now they come all the way in with the infield.
Swing and a miss, and it's a ball and a strike.
Back-to-back changeups. DJ Mitchell to get even in the count.
Maybe a little unlucky with the ground ball through the middle. He got the ground ball. It was just well located from a Baltimore standpoint. There's a strike.
Kind of shows you the confidence that Mitchell has, the poise. 3 straight changeups here with the bases loaded.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. A big strikeout. The infield can drop back now with 2 outs. Showing a good changeup.
Well, you got 3. Why not 4? 4 straight changeups. The 4th one's the best of the bunch. Just a dead fish.
There's the infield dropping back now with 2 outs. Manny Machado, the shortstop, and he takes a curve low and away for a ball. Ball 2, 2-0. Yeah, he does look 19 years old.
Baby face.
High chopper. Hall has a chest high hop, throws the first for the out. But Baltimore breaks through here in the top of the ninth. They pick up a run. The Yankees need at least a run to tie, 2 to win, going to the bottom of the ninth. Bottom of the ninth inning, last chance for the Yankees. They trail the Orioles by a score of 4-3. But Showalter has gone to the bullpen one more time. And he's come out with a right-hander, Pat Neshek. Check this delivery out. All arms and legs coming at you. 25 games with the Padres last year.
Excuse me, kid. Yeah. Got a little Jim Cott in him. Maybe not the sidewinder or the start, but that quick pitch delivery.
He is all arms and legs, and he was an invitee to spring training, trying to make the team. Leading off for the Yankees here in the bottom of the ninth will be the center fielder, Justin Maxwell. Rumor has it that the Baltimore Orioles are interested in Maxwell, who's out of options and is a native of Maryland. And he takes a pitch from Neshek outside for a ball.
Jim Cott had a little quick pitch delivery. See, no leg kick at all. A wing, just a wing and a prayer.
Here's a swing and a miss.
And a big recoil, too.
I remember facing Kitty, and you had to step out because he worked very fast. He had places to go after the game. Pitch is fouled back.
Jim Cott, obviously one of the great pitchers of all time, and broadcasters for that matter, but he just was notorious for just a no-nonsense quick pitch delivery. Just no step, boom, here it comes.
2-2. I guess when you're throwing 86 miles an hour, you got to do something, because you're not going to get him with velocity.
And he was ready to field his position as well as anybody in the history of the game. Neshek maybe not quite like that. He's got a big recoil too. Watch his right arm after he delivers.
Call strike 3. Maxwell called out on strikes. That one hit the corner. Neshek picks up a strikeout. How would you describe it? It's not really underhand. It's not really sidearm.
And lower 3/4.
It's a combination of all of them. Top of the order now. This ball's hit well to right field. Rudiger is there, and he makes a catch round number 2. That was Doug Bernier who flied out to right. Yankees down to their last out. Melky Mesa will come to the plate. Curtis Granderson was 1 for 4 while he was in there. Granderson was a DH tonight. That pitch is a strike. Knee high on the inside corner.
Neshek, just very demonstrative on the mound. Almost like a bungee cord, his arm with that recoil.
Mesa tried to check, but he didn't. Count as 0-2. You don't want to try that at home, youngsters. Try the conventional way first.
Got a lot of energy. Very funky style. Serves him well, though.
Ball and 2 strikes on Melky Mesa. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and the ball game's over. So Neshek will be credited with a save tonight as he holds on to a 1-run lead. And the Orioles, by scoring a run in the top half of the ninth, come away with a 4-3 win against the New York Yankees here tonight at Steinbrenner Field. Let's check out the totals from tonight's ball game, as Baltimore wins it by a score of 4-3. They had 4 runs, 10 hits, and no errors. For the Yankees, 3 runs, 8 hits, a couple of errors. The winning pitcher is Strop. The losing pitcher is Mitchell. Neshek gets the save. Leaders are 2 for 3 with a double, a triple, 2 runs scored. Ibanez had a big night for the Yankees. 2 for 3 with a solo home run and 2 runs batted in. That will do it from here at George M. Steinbrenner Field in Tampa, Florida. Special thanks to producer Troy Benjamin, director Michael Cooney, vice president of operations Eddie Delaney, our supervising producer Woody Fryman, and the executive producer is Mr. John J. Filippelli. Join us again tomorrow for the Yankees baseball as the Bombers take on the Phillies from right here in Tampa. Coverage begins here at 7 p.m. on the Yes Network. Once again, the final score: the Orioles 4, the Yankees 3. For David Cohn and Jack